Hello everyone, this is meteorologist Marshall Downing, and this evening we are still in a Weather Authority alert day. That's going to continue over the next few hours. It's going to take until 9 p.m. for a tornado warning or a tornado watch to expire. We've had a lot going on for today. There have been warnings stretching up from parts of New York towards Lake Ontario, all the way down into Alabama. Meanwhile, for us, we've actually been missing kind of the main line of storms, and I'll show you why that is a little bit later. But to show you what we're looking at for most of our details for the Weather Authority alert day, we've got the chance of severe storms with hail, wind, and flooding. Wind is the biggest threat for us in particular, but also some hail could develop with that. We've had a tornado watch, and in fact, we've even had a few tornado warnings, so active development from the Weather Service of rotating air there. As the evening goes along, it's going to be a little bit more hit and miss than a consistent line moving through. So it's going to wrap up, especially as we get past sunset. Right now, there's a severe thunderstorm warning for Allegheny and Craig counties after there was a tornado warning in parts of West Virginia, staying a little bit further towards the west of our counties themselves. But let's take a tour of the different storm systems that we've been looking at. The main one that's active right now is that one with the severe thunderstorm warning in Allegheny and Craig. That lasts until 7:15, so still going to be in effect for the next 45 minutes or so as that cell makes its way towards the southeast. If you're looking at that system on the western side as it makes its way through Beckley and then continues further towards the east, it used to have a whole lot of lightning to go along with it, but at this point, it started to ease off. It's not nearly as strong as it was, so that's some good news for us. We are still looking at some pretty intense development as we get into other parts of the country, but it's not going to be quite as noticeable here. Now, I do think that we have some other storms that we want to pay attention to. Further down to the south towards Danville, we're looking at some more intense development. That's going to have some fairly consistent showers and storms as we go through the next hour or so, but it's mainly been under the severe criteria for the last hour and even a little bit before that. There were severe thunderstorm warnings as this made its way through Patrick County especially, but at this point it's just kind of heavy rain and some streaks of lightning. Looking further towards the north, this is another spot that's been a focus of some of our activity earlier on. Towards Stanton, we had some storms. Highland County was looking at a good amount earlier on. And there are downpours right this minute, but no severe thunderstorm warnings that we're looking at. To zoom further out, I'll show you that line I was talking about. It extends up through, really from Fredericksburg up into a lot of Pennsylvania in that very southeastern corner there. But there are also warnings extending further towards the north than that. And then down into North Carolina, that arcs through Georgia, kind of missing us towards the north and east. That storm is going to stick around for a while, at least the line is, but we're not really going to see the most intense effects because they're saying, kind of being broken up by the mountains. We still have our tornado watch until 9 p.m. Now, Pocahontas County has been dropped from that technically, but we still have a good amount of intensity that's still got to make its way through the southeast. So all the rest of our counties are still included in that tornado watch. Looking at the severe storm chances, there was a level 4 risk, a moderate risk in red there that was earlier in the day covering all of our counties. At this point, it's been cut a little bit further towards the north and west, but we still have a level 3 basically everywhere else. So all of us are at a pretty high risk for storms. As we get closer to 7 p.m., that starts to ease off, but I think it takes until after 8 for us to really be looking at the calmer weather that's going to help us out. I do think that the system that's towards our northwest is still going to cause some severe thunderstorm warnings for us, but it's just not got the same kind of energy as the ones earlier in the day did. Also, temperatures are starting to cool down. We got up to a high of 91 here in Roanoke, and as this keeps moving towards the southeast, it's already down into the upper 80s here in Roanoke, and temperatures are cooler than that towards the south side and Lynchburg. Cooler air means less energy to work with, so that's some good news as far as limiting that storm development and keeping people safe as the evening goes along. Now, last time we had a level 4 severe risk like this was April 19th of 2019, which brought a tornado towards Franklin County and also had a couple other tornado reports to go along with that. But that Franklin County storm was particularly strong, lasted for 8 miles in about 10 minutes on the ground with wind gusts up towards 60 miles per hour, and it ended up being rated an EF3. Now, if you don't know, the Enhanced Fujita Scale, which is what EF stands for, rates the damage that a tornado does after the fact to the the Weather Service sends out crews to look at what damage it did as it came through. That's why tornado warnings don't have an F rating. It's just there's a tornado warning going on right now, and then afterwards they decide what the rating is. For that one, it's a 1 to 5 scale, and to get a level 3 on the scale, you got to get some pretty intense winds going, some real damage being done. So that was particularly strong when warranting that level 4 risk that we had. And then further down towards the south and towards the northeast, there were extra tornadoes that came through that day. Now, looking at our individualized wind, or our severe threats in particular, between wind, hail, and tornado, wind is the one that's impacting the most of us. In fact, those black bars that you see over top of the red for most of our counties are called the hatched-in area for the moderate risk, and that is an indicator of them being particularly bad. Now, the way things have shaken out, the winds, or the storms as they move through, haven't been too particularly active, but getting to the storms that have come through, they've had some strength to go along with them. As far as hail is concerned, the main risk was staying further north, but once we go into the later hours, it's going to drop. You really need a lot of energy and heat to get hail to form, and it just doesn't look like we've got that right this minute. The tornado risk has generally been north of 460. At this point, it's concentrated a little bit further to the north and east. That's where some of our tornado warnings have been so far, but not going to see a whole lot of extra development with that either. The level 3 risk extends pretty far. We have a pretty big level 4 risk as it is, but that 3 enhanced in the orangish-brown color extends down into Alabama and Georgia and up even into parts of New York. So it goes to show you how widespread this is. Tomorrow, storms are going to stay well off towards our west, and on Wednesday, they stay pretty far west as well. I think it takes until Thursday for us to see some actual additional development. Most of us this evening will see this line of storms pass on towards the east, and there's little things that try to redevelop in West Virginia, but it doesn't really gain the same kind of energy that the main line had earlier on. As we get past 9, 10 p.m., again, there's some showers up towards Pocahontas County, but nothing like what we were seeing earlier on, and then we'll have some calmer weather for the next couple days. Duxbury and Willis County both had reports of hail coming in up towards 1 inch and even towards 1.25 inches in Duxbury. So that's pretty significant. The Weather Service in Charleston posted some pictures of pretty sizable hail up towards 2 inches in some of those respects. So there is a lot of energy with some of these storms coming through. We've been able to miss the most intense, but still goes to show any severe thunderstorm warning that pops up can be damaging with hail that size or some of the wind speeds that we've seen. Tonight, our temperatures are going to fall back towards the 60s. We're already starting to cool down. It's going to end up pretty similar to last night, but these showers really start to ease off after the sun sets. So there's not a lot left over by 10 p.m. And going into tomorrow morning, there's not going to be much left over either. Tuesday stays pretty nice for the most part. Kind of the one thing getting in the way is that there is a good amount of wind. I think we'll see winds up towards 10, 15 miles per hour, gusts towards 20, maybe a little higher than that. And temperatures are still going to be warm, particularly in the south side. So it's not going to be the nicest day ever. I do think Wednesday is going to have a couple showers here and there, but you can still spend time outside. Temperatures are about the same. It takes until Thursday for storm chances to rise back up. A lot of us are looking at another chance of storms coming through on Thursday, but not an alert day for that. It does look a good bit calmer than what we had earlier on. And then shower chances here and there, a couple isolated storms when we get towards the start of next week, but not going to be particularly intense. Now I'll ask our digital team member, Allie, to see if there's any questions right now. If not, stay safe through the rest of the night. We'll keep you updated as that line of storms through West Virginia still has to make its way further down towards the southeast, but it's not looking like it's going to have the same energy that earlier storms in the day did. The more heat we lose, the less energy that we have to fuel those storms. So that's some pretty good news. Checking in with Allie, seeing if there's anything coming in yet. Doesn't look like we've had too much in terms of questions at this particular moment. Temperatures are pretty consistently around 90. And just hear back from Allie, we don't really have questions for right now. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Again, checking out the 7-day. It's pretty calm after this. Try to enjoy Tuesday. That's going to be the coolest that we are for a while, mid-80s there before those temperatures rise back up. I do think that tomorrow we're going to be pretty nice in most places. The humidity is a lot lower. We just have that wind to deal with. And after that, shower chances will start to come back. Stay safe through this evening. We'll keep you updated as any storms continue to develop. Bye for now.